Hello guys, so in this video I'm doing a sketchbook update for January 2017. Oh my god, I just can't believe that it's been a month already into this new year. So let's get started. I'm actually going to start off with this sketchbook. I used 3 over the course of this month. So the first picture I did of 2017 was this picture of Jalal and Ember. And this would be sort of like their first kiss, I think. So it's with my Kurotaki Kansai Tambi watercolours. And then it also has the Mozart watercolour brush pens. Now I started doing this thing where I use watercolour and I have the swatch pad on the side so I can test how the watercolours will be on the paper. So on the second I did these little cute pictures. So I did Melissa, Loki and Jalal as little toddlers. So, oh, they're adorable. I decided to add parts of them that would be kind of like their backstory. Kind of like that, so. Then we have this Undertale inspired Loki. Let's just bring it up a little bit. Okay, so this one I actually did right after I finished a project. So I finished a certain project which was for my graphics module on the 11th, like really late on the 11th. So I decided I'm going to clear my head and I'm going to draw something. It doesn't matter what, it really doesn't matter. So I actually did an Undertale inspired Loki, and Loki in the Undertale AU would be Sans because of the whole time and teleporting thing. It makes sense, essentially. So, yeah. This was actually like a de-stressing picture and I needed to draw it. So, the next picture is of Jalal as Grilby. So, you can see that. Whoop. I'm having trouble holding up the pages because this sketchbook, there's a lot of pages in this sketchbook that have been used already. I kind of wanted to try out how Jalal would look with fiery hair, and then the whole Grilby Jalal thing from the Undertale AU happened. So yes. Then we have these pictures. So we have Din and Skylar. This was done for Din's birthday, which I think is on the 13th. I'm not 100% sure. So she has this hat on. And then there's this picture. So in the original picture that Candy did for her character Din's birthday, he had this knife. And the knife, and I had this thought that I could do a response to that picture and how Skylar would react to it. So she's like, "Don't test your new knife out on me, but it would go straight through you. I don't care. Happy birthday." I thought it'd be interesting to just do that. So let's zoom out a little bit because this is a bigger picture. I don't know how well you can see that because my sketching was incredibly light, but it's kind of like an ice skating pose. It was never fleshed out. I suppose I could flesh it out in the future, but to be honest, I feel like I don't really want to touch it again. Maybe in the future, at some point when I go back through my sketchbooks, but I doubt I ever will. It's one of those sketches that you just throw away and you're just like, nope, I'm not into this anymore. Before I go on, I will say that this one, because I forgot to say what this sketchbook is, it is a Ryman A4 sketching journal. So this particular sketchbook is a Dale Rowney graduate A4 sketchbook. I started this completely after I handed in all of my projects. So I did this kind of sketch. I wanted to get some ideas down for characters and stuff, and I had this idea that Rosanna could have a friend, like a college friend or something, and she would be a professional ice skater. I don't know. I was kind of playing around with the idea of maybe I could have an ice skating OC, but I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it. I still don't 100% know exactly what I want. So that's why I did a picture of Rosanna. It was actually her birthday on the 22nd, and I did no picture of Rosanna for her birthday because I thought it was slightly later in the month. I do that. I kind of like, it slips my mind, especially when I've got projects on or I've got things that are of higher priority than YouTube. I forget when my own characters' birthdays are. That's why. I have a list of my characters' birthdays on my calendar, so I've got no excuse now. The next character birthday is the 30th of March. I've got a bit of time. Then I did some headshots of my female OCs, because if I am going to design another female OC, I kind of wanted to compare how all of their faces looked. And if I could change one thing about this entire piece, is that I feel like Bethany and Loki's eyes are a little bit too similar, even though they're supposed to be different. I think it was just the way I was drawing that day. Then we have some like more design sketches, kind of going along the same kind of design of her. Still don't know where I'm going with that. That's the thing, with new characters it takes me ages to flesh it out, and that's why I do not say it's an official OC, because I just take my time fleshing out my own characters. So this is a sketch of Loki. I hadn't really drawn many of my girls at this point, so that's why I decided to draw Loki, and I kind of wanted to do it for the Art Materials watercolour video that I did a couple of weeks back, and this was the original sketch for that. Then I did the Meet the Artist tag. I decided to sketch it all out traditionally so I could map out what I wanted, how detailed I wanted it, and you can see that a lot of how I draw things is very stylized. There's a lot of curved lines, there's a lot of fast strokes with my pencil, and that's how I like it. I like fluid pencil strokes, or like brush strokes, depending on what material I've been using. I could not decide how I wanted my character to look, so this was the original, and this is exactly what I went with in the final. But I actually did do other concept sketching, so I did like a headshot, I did this style and this style, and they're kind of polar opposites of each other, to be honest. They're actually two extremes. I thought that this one was a bit too boring, too tall, too bland. And then this one was way more accurate than I give it credit for, to be honest. It's weirdly accurate. That's kind of why I wanted something that was like a happy medium, which was this one. It's kind of like half that and half that, which is essentially what I wanted. So the last thing in the sketchbook is some Jalal headshots. I kind of wanted to do expressions of characters, but when I start doing it, my mind gets so bored very quickly. Even though I can draw expressions, just doing an expression sheet is just terrible for me because I get bored very easily. Then we have Moira and Alton Dovrekin. If you don't know, these are Jalal's parents, and I kind of wanted to flesh out how the parents would be when they were younger. And Jalal's father is a knight. He comes from a family of knights, so yay. So the next sketchbook is actually an A5 Sea White of Brighton sketchbook. So this particular sketchbook I actually got from my Scrawler box of January 2017. That video is probably coming out next week at the earliest, so hopefully you'll be wanting to catch that. So in this sketchbook, the first few things that you're going to see are kind of like some thought process for next week's video, so I'm not going to spoil it too much. If you already know what next week's kind of thing looks like, Don't spoil it for anybody else. So, even though it's probably going to be obvious which one I actually did do. Yeah, these ones. So, also during that stream, there was talk in the chat of this character to be shipped with Jenna's character, Akira. So I drew that character and her name was Xanth. I hope that's how I pronounce it. I'm sorry if I've got it wrong. This character was created by some members of my chat in my live streams to be with Akira. So, yes. I finally gave in and decided, you know what, I want to draw her. She's got interesting features, definitely. The next one is of Moira and Alton. Now, to be honest, I was getting very burnt out when I was drawing this. I kind of wanted to end the stream right at the end of this picture, but I decided, you know what, I'm just going to draw something else, because I've never ended the stream before 6 hours before. I don't really have much to say about this picture. I like how Moira turned out. Alton, on the other hand, not a fan of how he turned out. Then I tried to gender bend Jalal. It didn't really work. I mean, I feel like it didn't work. And the name would be Jane. Then I did this picture of Jalal and Ember. Oh, they're so cute together. I was very into messy sketching, and I actually had to show this sketchbook to a new teacher that I've got for one of my new modules, and it's called Entrepreneurial Practice. And he said to me straight away that my drawing and the way I work is very expressive. There's a lot of emotion in it, and I would be hired by a game design straight away on the spot at the drop of a hat. Because he was looking through the class's work. The class is more so about business rather than illustration. So he was looking at the talent of the class, and that's what he said about my work. I was flattered by what he said about that. That's a concept that didn't work. Now, this is based on underwater photography. It's supposed to be a girl underwater, so I wanted to have a pose. I wanted to practice my form and the way that I drew things, and this was really good practice. I had a lot of fun trying to replicate it, and when I usually do underwater photography based stuff, based drawings, I usually do it in pen and ink and watercolor and all the stuff that you would expect that. But doing it in pencil is completely different, and it adds a whole new dimension and challenge to it. So that's kind of what I wanted to do with that. Then I did this picture right here. So a little doodle. And then this is Akira. So remember when I said that Xanth was shipped with Akira? Well, this is Akira, and this is Akira. This is Jenna's character. And the things that are wrong about this is that I feel like the colours are way too saturated. I should have just used watercolour and not just my brush pens for it. So yeah, that's what I think about it. And I don't think Jenna's even seen this, because I posted it to my story on Instagram, and from what I've seen, she didn't see it. So, surprise Jenna, I drew Akira. I hopefully will be drawing a much better picture of her eventually. So towards the end of the month, I started drawing baby Jalal. Oh, I wanted to draw Jalal as a baby. I don't know why. I just had this idea that I would draw Jalal as a little baby. It's so cute. I think Jalal's face is just the cutest. Then this picture, I did another baby Jalal picture. It's adorable. Ah. And then there's Jalal and Ember at the bottom with a reaction to that picture. I was on the train, okay? When I'm on the train, random things happen. All the thoughts just rush to my head on the train. I'm on the train a lot, especially now that I'm in semester 2. So, yes, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed my sketchbook update for January 2017. I will say that, just a little bit of a spoiler, I go into coloured pictures in February, so hopefully I will have enough to show you by the time of my next sketchbook update. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!